This is my home. I grew up here. I've been here the whole time except, when I was in school and college.
West Marion, we're really tight-knit. So we're kind of unique from the other communities because most of us are already friends and family, so it made it easier, I think, to get the things done. Do we fuss and fight and disagree? Yes, we do, but when it's time to get things done, we come together and get it done.
Marion and Old Fort were similar. They were already close-knit communities. They were former manufacturing textile communities, and as the textile factories closed, the neighborhoods began to change. Some people stayed, there was new people that moved in, so there was probably some disconnection that was beginning to happen, but it was becoming more recognized by the people who, had historically lived there.
What I was hearing from a lot of the traditional, more formal leaders in McDowell County, they were having a hard time engaging folks who are most impacted by the challenges and disparities that they're working on addressing. And so how could we develop an approach that would be really intentional and in getting the voices of folks who are historically excluded or marginalized in McDowell County involved in strategizing and sharing and problem solving and making decisions that would help influence their health and well-being over the long term.
I used to think that a lot of what's getting done should be part of the government's job to do, but communities have an obligation to lift themselves up.
The community forum model is where you come in and you ask the community what their issues are, and they tell you what the issues are, and we assist with finding the solutions, community-driven solutions.
The first thing that struck me when I went to the meeting was, what is your vision for your community? To hear that was just like a bell went off in my head. I was like, people, do you hear what they're asking us? We have a choice here. So let's do this.
Giving these residents an opportunity just to come together and talk and realize how they were more alike than they were not alike really gave them a chance to think about what was their vision for their community, what are the barriers that they know that they all face, and how can they problem solve together to create a vibrant community that is attractive to them and it's attractive to other people and people want to come be a part of.
We found that having one-on-one conversations with key leaders was critical to build the trust and relationships to get the forum started off on the right footing. So it really was a 3-month process of getting to know the leaders in Old Fort, leaders in West Marion and Marion East. And when I say leaders, I mean those folks that you go to that you trust, and that if they tell you, hey, this is important, you'll show up.
It's giving people buy-in into the community and giving them the power to make the changes in their community.
We create a safe space. A lot of people don't really understand that, but we do create a safe space that we can come and voice our opinions, and our opinions do matter.
At the beginning, I know what we were experiencing, Donna Ledbetter and myself, it was the Paul and Donna show. Whatever they said, that's what we're gonna do. But it was like, no, y'all also have a choice. We all have a certain amount of power, and it's just tapping into ourselves and letting it come out.
When I met the folks at the forum, I was met with just no judgment and love in a community that wanted to hear what I had to say. And I think for someone who struggled with substance use, that's a huge thing. When someone values your opinion despite where you come from or despite the mistakes you've made.
It's not one person dominating the meeting or one person's idea just moving forward, but we really try to have a deep conversation about what the best possible approach or strategy is and do that collectively. And I think that shared decision making and that modeling that shared power at the community level is part of what's made this so successful.
Asking folks to fill roles for facilitation at meetings. So just asking them to do something simple like the welcome, to everybody. That to some people that's terrifying, to stand in front of a group and say, thank you for coming out tonight. But then once you do it, and you realize it's not as fearful as you think, then you're willing to maybe take on another role at a future forum.
One of the biggest forums for West Marion was a law enforcement forum, and we had the chief of police and the sheriff, the president of NAACP, and a social justice lawyer. On that day, there was a racist incident that happened at a service station that a girl was basically attacked, not physically, but verbally. And it gave us the opportunity right then to take action to what's going on. We normally wouldn't know how to handle the incident, but we have built relationship with law enforcement, with city and county officials, to be able to go ask the hard questions, to have the hard conversation.
The way that we work on these issues is about dealing with them, bringing them out, and just, dissecting them and see where the root cause is and what the root issues are.
I believe that we are working to destigmatize hard issues like food insecurity and substance misuse, classism, racism, by doing exactly what we do every month, by shining a light on it, having conversations about it, inviting people to learn more, making sure that we're connecting residents to groups that are working on that so they can not only learn for themselves, but they can bring information back to the forum, their friends, their family, and just making sure that everybody understands that this isn't something we're going to avoid talking about. We're intentionally going to talk about it.
The thing that surprised me the most is that other people in our county wanted to model what we're doing. So our model has been used in 2 other communities.
I was really surprised by the change, the action that's taken within the forums, that it's not about talking, it's about doing, and just the persistence through whatever opposition may come.
Some of the stuff we do is unorthodox. Sometimes you have to bend rules or get people to change the rules, but if it gets the stuff done and if it changes your community and it makes it better for future generations, then that's what you got to do.
Starting to shift conversations from blaming the people who are suffering from those problems to looking at how our policies and systems are contributing to those problems. And so looking at it from the substance misuse angle too, a lot of the reactions to us bringing that conversation up was, well, we just want to arrest people and get them out. We don't want them in our community. Let's think about why people are suffering from substance misuse. Let's have a recovery rally. Let's look at the pharmaceutical companies' role in this. Like, we can't just arrest our way out of the problem, is what law enforcement would say when you brought them to the table. So that really, I think, opened up people's perspectives.
We've seen a spike in 2017, a 300% increase in overdose deaths. So we addressed that issue and did an Awareness Day campaign where we brought people together to discuss the topic, resources together so that people could be aware, hey, we're here, we know you're faced with this challenge. These are the things available in your community to help.
We support the Foothills Food Hub. Man of the pop-up markets here today, we have them at every forum to give people opportunities to get food. Food insecurity is huge everywhere. So we try to do our part.
You have to roll up your sleeve, have a common cause, and be willing to work together and help people less fortunate than you.
This work can be disheartening. You can come against walls and you feel like quitting, but I think at the forums we always come back to that one goal. We want a healthier community. We want a more thriving community. We want its members to be healthy and thriving. We want people to be included. We want people to be loved.
Don't stand on the sidelines and complain. Come in and be a part of what needs to be done.
I think part of our success has been having a strong funding partner at the table, supporting, investing in, and amplifying the work of grassroots efforts. And that has meant all the world to folks listening and paying attention to what we're doing.
If you really want to do what's best for either your constituents or the people that you have money and are willing to share that money with, you can't do that unless you know specifically what the vision for that community is, what the community residents want, what they have already experienced, maybe that has worked or has not worked in the past. If you don't have the people's voice at the table and filling you in on what's important to them and how that's going to work in their community or not. Either your philanthropic dollars are not going to be put to good use, or your leadership as an elected official is not going to be very effective.
As we continue to grow and learn and build capacity, McDowell County is going to be an amazing place to live. Mm-hmm. It already is, but it's going to be more amazing.
Mm-hmm. I think that this region is potentially going to change in huge ways over the next 10 years. And you know, I want to make sure that all of the lessons learned and the tools that we've used don't just stay with us, but they spread so that other communities can have a voice and can be included in the development of Western North Carolina.
We have a real opportunity to make an actual health difference in our county. And if this is where I'm going to live the rest of my life, and you and your family are going to live, you know, the rest of your lives, that matters.
I appreciate the opportunity that has been bestowed upon me to be able to be a leader of this amazing work that's going on in our community. Never did I see myself personally being in this position to be able to make a difference in so many people's life and to be able to encourage people to just do something different. There's going to be stumbles, there's going to be falls, but there's going to be some amazing wins. And just to ride the tide and continue on with this work and never just give up on it, because it's your community. You know, it's your ancestors have built it for you. You're leaving it for your children. So continue to look at it. It's yours. Take ownership for it, and the sky's the limit.